Breaking news now, a jury finds a woman accused of killing her secret lover guilty of murder. Eyewitness News reporter Addie Guajardo joins us live at the Bexar County Justice Center downtown with details. Addie?
Andrea, all day yesterday afternoon, the jury spent deliberating, even part of this morning, coming to a verdict just before 11 this morning. The judge reading guilty of murder, a verdict that was emotional on both sides of the family. The son of the defendant bursting out into uncontrollable tears and walking out of the courtroom today, trying to grapple the decision that had just been made. His pain palpable as we heard screams from the hallway all the way into the courtroom. And for the victim's family, hugging and also sharing those tears. Now, Andrid Abdelaziz is charged with the murder of her nephew and lover, 25-year-old Mohammed Abdelaziz. Andira stabbed Mohammed to death with a kitchen knife in 2016. During the trial, the defendant claimed she acted in self-defense, saying she was the victim of verbal and physical abuse at the hands of her nephew and alleging her nephew even threatened to put her in a coma. Now, prosecutors meanwhile painted the victim as a law school graduate with a promising life ahead of him. Right now, the jury is in the punishing phase at this time. Now, just a few minutes ago, I also spoke with Mohammed's brother. He says justice has been served. He also tells us he will be happy with any punishment that is handed down by the jury today. Reporting from the courthouse, Addie Guajardo, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.